Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another edition of the Weekend Gamers here. And first off, happy St. Patrick's Day, even though that's coming up the day after we're airing this. But, we do have, we have 4 people, I have 3 people with me, and one's a spectator, because he doesn't have the NSO expansion pack right now. The spectator is Video Game Fan 96, aka Dominic.
That is correct. Hello, folks.
But playing with me today are Nman64 and Video Game Fan 1999.
Hey, Homan, what do you know?
Alright. And also apologies for the late start in recording this episode today. We kinda had a bit of trouble off-screen getting people available to play. But that's okay. I mean, that happens sometimes. Now, a lot of the time, we get a bit chaotic with these games on the Weekend Gamers. But sometimes we need something that's more chill once in a while. And there's nothing more chill than golf. We're playing Mario Golf on NSO today.
And it's all the reasons why I'm glad I don't have the expansion pack. Even if I had the expansion pack, I would have just said, oh yeah, I'm not joining in for this one. You know, if I were to have the expansion pack.
Let's see.
There's no offense to people that like golf games, but I'm just very bad at them. Like, so like, that's why I'm saying, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, like if I were to have the expansion pack, I wouldn't play. But hey, golf games, they are pretty chill. Mark is right about that.
Alright. So,
I just don't understand why, though. Just why if I'm not Mario, I just think it's stupid.
I'm not sure.
Not a lot of sense for a Mario game, but...
Yeah, they may as well just call it Luigi Golf.
This thing I find through about Mario being unlockable, I'm not even so sure how fuck it is even like that, to be honest.
Yeah, basically, in the way, the Angry Video Game Nerd would say, all that was a singing game! And also, I would highly recommend checking out the Video Game Nerd if you guys haven't watched them already. It's very funny, especially the Big Rigs episode he did.
Yeah, for what Dominic is saying right here, I actually watched that kind of video with them on that one certain day, and yeah, it was so funny from the way it played out right there. What made it so funny is that at some point in the review, I saw that you can literally go thousands of miles per hour in reverse. This is the way that they designed that game.
Yeah,
Wow.
like in real life, you wouldn't be able to go that fast, even in reverse.
okay.
Mark and I are not doing too well on this right now.
Case in point.
Oh god.
Another video reviewer, or whatever.
Are you kidding me?
I recommend that the guy that you guys that are watching this checks out is Scott DeLaz, because
There we go.
he does do pretty funny videos, and as of the time of this recording, his latest review he has done, that kind of ad he did earlier, and that one other day or today or whatever. The latest review he did was Lego games, where he basically reviewed pretty much every single Lego game ever made. And with that particular review, that was the first time I learned that something about Traveler's Tales is not allowed to make Lego games anymore. Which, assuming what Scott DeLaz said is true, is a major shame, because Lego games, I wouldn't call myself a big fan of them, but I do enjoy some of the Lego games that Traveler's Tales has made in the past. Like Lego Indiana Jones, Lego Harry Potter, that kind of stuff. The only Lego game I remember not really caring for all that much was the PSP version of Lego Harry Potter Years 1 through 4, and I did try out the Lego Harry Potter collection onto YouTube.
Okay.
But, you know, the Lego games, they are pretty fun, and I may or may not give Lego Harry Potter collection another go. Because I do like me some Lego Lego games. They can be pretty fun. My personal favorite of the Lego games they have made, Traveler's Tales have made, was Lego Batman, the video game. That one I thought was really, really good.
Yep, I'm going over par. Oh well.
You and me both.
I'll talk about the Lego games in a little bit, but I will say on your last shot bar, it wasn't too bad the way you did that. But if you're close to the green, you can actually press the B button to change your shot to approach shot, which makes it live.
Oh! Well, you can get a par.
I almost made that pop right there. Oh well.
You're already doing better than Mark and I, so you're good.
Triple bogey at the
You guys
first hole.
messed up right there on some of your shots to start off right here. Maybe a good reason for why it could be the case is probably due to the input delay.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Because Nintendo loves input delay for some reason, and they also like a frame rate lag for some reason too.
Also, another thing I should also point out, and I meant to bring this up on the last episode, but on some of my recent videos, I've gotten comments from people asking about like where they can get like the ROM and emulator that I use for like Pokemon X and XY, Pokemon Omega Ruby Sapphire, as well as the Jeopardy software that I'm using for the current season of my series. Now, I did mention this on my community tab about a week and a half ago, but I'm going to bring this up in oral form, and I would like to point out, and I know Daniel, you probably, and I know these guys probably wouldn't ask for this, but I would like to point out that for legal reasons as well as privacy reasons, I unfortunately cannot share any of those links or whatever.
Yeah, because basically, when it comes to like emulators and ROMs and stuff like that, basically no one is really allowed to give out the links, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, sure they can say what emulator they are using, but in terms of sending the link to it or whatever, from what I can understand, that kind of stuff is never okay. Not that I would send ROMs or
and plus those people that are asking me like about those 3DS emulator ROMs, here's an idea. Why don't you go try to find it for yourself?
Yes, not that hard. All you have to do is just type in whatever game you want, and there you go. That's all there is to it. And trust me, I should know this because I have plenty of ROMs and emulators on my computer as we speak. Specifically a certain Game Boy Advance emulator where it emulates all Game Boy type games and stuff. So why not like a ROM set? Look it up yourself. It's really not that hard. You just gotta be careful of where you just gotta be careful of where you download the ROMs. Because some websites contain viruses instead of ROMs, so you gotta be careful with that.
And it's not that easy trying to handle your shots in the green because it can really slow down your ball very well.
To be fair, I wish I would have done this sooner, because if I would have known my phone, then again, at the time I had a different phone, but basically if I would have known about downloading ROM stuff on phones and stuff, then I wouldn't just spent $300 on Final Fantasy Radiance. I would have just downloaded a ROM. But at least I got Modern Radiant Dawn on my phone. Even if I didn't really get that far into it, but like Mark said, just look it up yourself. It's really not that hard.
one that's using Mario, and yet
And as for 3DS ROMs, the only 3DS games I really got on my phone, or at least that I tried out anyway, was Farmville Valencia. Even though I already have it on my 3DS, but I did that, and also Pokemon packs, but I mainly did download them for testing purposes.
Now my shots are getting very miserable.
I like how I'm getting interrupted nonstop, but basically, like I said, they are only for testing purposes. The only thing that kind of sucks is that I can tell is that they do stutter randomly a little bit at times, but at least they actually do run.
And depending on where your ball is out there, I should point this out right here. It's recommended to go in the safe control because depending on the position of your ball, right here, if you risk going in the higher club, if you can come to see at the bottom, there's a smaller red area, which means it makes it hard to try to hit it very well. So because of that, I usually recommend going a smaller club so that way you have a little bit of a bigger range in the red area. So that way you don't risk as much right here of that shot.
I was literally behind a tree. There was nothing I could do with that.
Yeah, about this particular game that I should point out, it's been a while since I have played this on NSO, but basically with me, I'm used to playing retro games out there on the Wii Virtual Console. It is basically my used way of playing classic games on there. I'm just basically used to the button layout or how the controller is with
Oh my god.
because of that, it just it takes me a little while to get used to the controls on the Nintendo Switch again.
Yeah, but doesn't the classic controller have the same exact button layout as the Joy-Cons and stuff?
I think it does.
Yeah, so because of that, I don't know. No offense to Daniel, of course, but if that is the case, I don't know why Daniel's confused on the controls. If the classic controller has the same exact button layout as the Joy-Cons and Pro Controller, respectively.
I was just only slightly confused on it when we first started at here. Notice.
But I'm just saying, because basically with them controller layout, they are very similar to that of the Xbox One controller, at least in terms of the letters wise, because PlayStation, they typically use shapes, almost when it comes to L1 and L2 and stuff, but otherwise they typically use shapes for PlayStation controllers.
Don't get me wrong, I do like this game, but I'm just not the best. Either way, I still like to play it, but there's just no way to get as good compared to some other people out there that have played this as well.
Well, do you hate it just as much as the Double Four Swords Adventures that we did at one time?
See, I had fun with that game, Dominic, but I think I would have a lot more fun with that game if I wasn't drunk.
That is true. I remember he was drunk at the time, so yeah, we had honestly eaten it on the weekend game this episode if it wasn't for that.
Hey, Dominic, you should be happy to not watch this because I hit this ball into a tree 4 times.
Well, honestly, well, actually, I would probably more unlikely, but I could have ended up seeing it when it gets pulled up on YouTube, but yeah, I mean, even though I'm not going to get too much into the topic of drunk, but all I'm really going to say is that I can only wonder what I would do, if I was drunk, but remember, but the only thing I'm going to say about that is, remember everybody, to those who are watching this, drink responsibly and only drink when you're old enough.
Exactly.
not gonna get into the
Oh
fight.
my
Anyway.
freaking god.
Also love how Daniel's character before was making Mario sound effects, even though I'm Mario.
Well,
No.
yeah, if I'm not mistaken though, even though I'm terrible at golf games, I did use a cheat code where basically allows you to unlock every single character in the game, aside from the transfer pack characters.
Alright.
And somehow you and I are tied with the bar.
But that's another thing. There's another thing. Hey, Nintendo, why not just do this thing to where in your emulator give us a transfer pack characters so I can finally get on the Peach circuit or Peach court in Mario Tennis on the Nintendo 64 app, because if I'm not mistaken, that's like one of the very few courts I don't have unlocked, all because they require the transfer pack. So it's like, come on, Nintendo, give us the ability to use a transfer pack for the emulation, so we can actually play as it, so we can actually unlock stuff from there that way, you know, instead of having to resort to, I don't know, like getting an actual transfer pack, an actual Nintendo 64.
Yeah. I made that house work out better than my last one right here. But yeah, some people really wish that the transfer pack stuff would have been included on newer versions of this game and Super Mario Tennis right here. It's a shame you cannot get those newer versions out there, all because the transfer pack is just not supportive of that.
Really?
No.
Mark, we're never playing this game for After Dark.
Yeah, so
I'm never gonna play this game ever again.
See, this is the exact reason as to why I don't play Mario Golf with Daniel all that often. Because I'm terrible at it, and like I don't understand how to make good shots. I'm just terrible at golf games, so I don't really play golf games in general with Daniel all that much. Like, heck, I wouldn't be surprised if I played NES. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if I played NES tournament golf with Daniel more than I do with Mario Golf. But even then, it still doesn't change the fact that I don't really like golf games all that much. I mean, it's not to say they're bad, but I just can't get into them honestly.
No. Okay.
And also, I don't care if you guys say in the comments, oh, if you get 96, you have a skill issue. Because if you guys do anything in the comments, well, you guys are right. I have a skill issue.
Yeah, it's just how some people are, depending on the kinds of games that they have tried. If they don't perfect that they're not as good at something, it's just not that often right here that they're going to get back to playing it.
Unless you're someone like me, where I didn't really understand how Persona worked at first, and then I ended up loving the series anyway. But yeah, still, you know, but I do know what Daniel, AKB 9999, is saying. Yeah, the majority of the time, if you don't understand how a game works and stuff, like 9 times out of 10,
Oh!
go back to it.
If there's one kind of golf game that I would like the most, I have to go with the golf and esports.
Why?
Well, and if
Why
anything,
did they go for why did this game?
and if anything, my favorite sport, a sport game to play non-Wii sports, is actually bowling. all kidding aside, this is all the reasons why I don't like playing golf games, and I'm just terrible at it. Like seriously, but all the times I played golf games with Daniel, I don't think I've really gotten much for pars or birdies or any of that.
Alright, Mark's hacking the game again.
No, I'm not.
And you have to make perfect shot out of that this time.
Gosh, stand, Mark, you're hacking the game again. Go to the timeout corner.
Nice shot.
Oh, come on!
You guys are not alone on this, because there have been times that I don't look multiplayer on the virtual console version of this, and there have been several people out there that I haven't played against that were also doing terrible.
Oh my god, I'm never picking up this game ever again.
Yeah, so remind Mark that if he's gonna put, remind Mark that if he wants to play Mario Golf,
Alright, yeah,
or
Mark's
whatever,
definitely hacking.
or any other golf game for that matter, American gamers to only invite, Daniel. All kidding aside, I wasn't being completely joking or serious. Luke just said that him and his family are on a tornado warning. There's thunderstorms still ongoing, and he's hoping that his family's okay and something that he'll us all later. Which does explain why he didn't join in along with us.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on with Luke right here, but yeah, understandable now why he couldn't make it. But either way, though, for what Anamik was mentioning right there, I hope Luke does stay safe. And speaking of Luke, I do know next weekend will actually be his birthday, which will be very exciting.
Yeah. Trying to end my message saying keep yourself safe. Luke, that applies to your family.
Oh, freaking course you don't. You troglodyte.
There we go. That way, I feel more safe, or I feel better. Anyway. Yeah, Luke
No,
said
I'm not having as much fun. I'm just
Luke said that he'll be fine. He's downstairs where it's safe, and he's not upstairs where it's not safe. So I hope Luke is right, all the same.
Better challenge.
Because tornadoes are nothing to screw around about.
No, they are not.
Because that's the thing. I need to ask my landlord or one of my neighbors around here what I gotta do in a tornado since this is all one apartment building. I mean, I'm gonna assume, but it's a big keyword assume. I'm gonna assume that just like my old apartment,
Boom.
I'll have to go to the bathroom and cover my head or whatever in the shower or something because like I said, this apartment building doesn't have, it doesn't have an upstairs or downstairs or any of that.
Wonderful. Nice on.
Because tornadoes, they're quite deadly as they say, and people can say, and it's just not fun. I mean, from what I can tell, tornadoes seems to be rare nowadays in my country, but like I said, there's still nothing to screw around about, like I said.
And by the way, and you basically won the challenge all because you were the only one around that agreed off the team.
Mark, Daniel, I'm also plus 17 in this, so there's no way.
Hurry up!
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that right here. I'm looking for a second with my card right there. I apologize for getting the mixed up. Well, I mean, it's basically what I'm trying to say here is that if
Oh!
fitting right here for somebody to say hurry up, if somebody shot is taking too long. Plus, that was stupid. I shot was too hard right there. I should have at least had a car right there.
And also par backwards is rad. But yeah. But all kidding aside, yeah, like, yeah, but even if I were to have, even if I did have the expansion pack, even if I did agree to play this game, and say if I was choosing that same character, Daniel, if I was choosing a different character, and if I would have chosen the character that Daniel was playing, Daniel would have chosen someone else, I more likely would have just spammed that particular line, because that's just what I. Oh yeah, I definitely see Edmund saying, I don't blame you. That's something I'm saying. Yeah, I would recommend that if Mark does want,
No.
if Mark does want to play Mario Golf again, but that's the keyword if Mark does want to play Mario Golf again on the Weekend Gamers, then I would highly recommend he only invites Daniel, into it because I get frustrated pretty easily in golf games myself.
I can almost guarantee you, Dominic, that we are not doing this game for Weekend Gamers again after this.
Well, I'm honestly thinking, I'm at the very least not too sure if we'll get back to doing this again right here on the show, but I'll at least say this, because that Ant-Man is doing so terrible on this, I know for a fact we're not having him with us for this kind of game again.
Oh my god, I don't even know what the hell to do with this shot anymore.
No, because I'm pretty sure Edmund would rather just play,
I'd
just
rather
like
step
a
on
storm
Lego,
again.
that's what I'd rather do.
Hey, if I had a Lego set and if I found out where you lived, I wouldn't mind delivering Legos to you. I mean,
I would be so happy if you gave me Legos to step on though, but anything is better than this awful game.
well, but yeah, actually, funny how Edmund mentions Legos. Remember that one day I was on the same day I bought a bike because it was part of the bar down, or maybe it wasn't on the same day. But there was this one day where I found this Lego Sonic set. I wanted to get it for I think it was like $69.99 or whatever it was.
For what I was basically saying, I'm actually not really too sure if we'll ever get back to this kind of game on the show again. Maybe it would actually be possible right here if somebody that's with me and Mark, not just Ant-Man, gives that shot right here. That's the only way that I could see it, but we'll have to see what happens if we ever do feature this kind of game again in the future on the show. And speaking of Legos right here, I would like to say this right here, that they're literally actually offering Lego Tactic cars now in Asphalt Legends Unite right here. Yes, I'm clearly saying that it is actually real right here. It is a tactic feature that is a part of the game right here. When I first saw that, I just literally got so surprised. I never really thought it would be a real thing, but they're here.
Is one of them the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile?
I think that ever be made of Legos right here. From what I do remember seeing, it's not going to be a thing.
A Lego Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. That would be interesting.
Well,
See if anyone's ever made it a friggin' thing.
well, I don't really mind Legos, but.
I'll take a look at Birdie right
Oh
there.
my god, someone made it out of Lego.
Oh, so it actually did?
You made that for real?
Yes.
to unlock that card to add it to your collection right here. I'm basically gonna do my best to throw the car on that. Like I said, it's interesting that they do have Lego Technical cars in Apple 11 guys now.